Hello, welcome to Flory Models Daily Vlog. Here we are, 3rd of September 2015, and today is review day. So, what have we been playing with today? We've actually been playing with Vallejo's new Air War series, colour series of paints. To be honest, I just thought they were normal Vallejo paints, and let's face it, I've done a full-on review of these, and it's around about 40 minutes, 35-40 minutes. Everything. I show a little bit of airbrushing techniques, I show about using it, we do some squiggles and patterns and various things with it. And Buster gets another paint job. What I was really surprised is these are different. These aren't the same as your normal Vallejo paints. They smell very nice. Now, we mentioned it when we actually did, whatever it is, but the metal colour ones, when we used their clear gloss or their sort of, sealer for their metallizers, it was really, really fragrant, and it also smelled quite cheap, I don't know, but when you're spraying, it's that fine balance between it stinks in here and you've stunk out the entire house and your partner's having a Benny, to the actual, full-on thing of like, it stinks as in it's too much. And I thought the floral sort of smell that came out from the actual gloss coat, a little bit overpowering. Don't get me wrong, it's probably the 99% of the smells that you get around in the studio anyway, but it certainly was a little bit overpowering. When I started using these, immediately it's like, hold on, it's like a lesser version, a better version of what that smell is, and they've all got a new smell. So it's obviously a slightly different formula. They've added a scent to all their paints, so when you do spray them, it's not anywhere as bad as that one, but you can still smell it's actually a nice fragrance coming off of these. They have been given a perfume, if you like, and spraying them down. So the full review is up, and we go into massive depth about all of it, as I say, about painting it, doing squiggles. The two colours we've got down here that I was interested in is what we call the modern camo for the Raptor. So this is like the Aggressor Grey with the new, what I call modern Eagle Blue over the top, which is basically the ones for the sort of the Pacific Fleet and the Lake and Heath one, saying European, but mainly Lake and Heath F-15s. They have those colours. It's that darker blue. Before, you had to go down the extra acrylics route. As you know, I'm not a fan of their paints, but I did used to use it, no problem. Now Vallejo stepped up and they filled that void. Got that Aggressor Grey as well. If you wanted to do like MiG-29 colours, things like that, that's your colour for that one. So certainly it's great that these new series of paints have come along, because it has filled a very big void and a gap, because you could use moments, shall we say, because it's pretty close and you could just lighten it or darken it to make it the right shade, but now we've actually got them. So what we actually did with Buster, we gave him another upgrade paint, he's getting bigger, and then what we've actually done with him is used their white, which I must admit I didn't realise was in the set. So we've actually got here the Insignia white, which is that sort of slightly off shade. It's not like a bright white, just using, XF2 if we've done it before. So we've actually put this one down, but it went down beautifully. That was one coat of the white onto this, no problem whatsoever, just went in an absolute charm. Then we came along here, so this is light gold grey, again, never had it in the range before. What you're going to do, lighten up a little bit of XF20 or go down the guns route. That was your only two options. Now they've stepped in, filled that gap as well, and I put that down a little bit thicker. I think it's not exactly the same as those colours we were using perhaps down here for the Raptor ones, but it may have been, as we speak about a lot in there, and I show you about marine grade nuts and bolts going into these things to mix them up and getting the best out of these paints. I didn't do that with this particular one, and it just gave me a little bit of a problem. What you will see in there though is that I completely flood this entire back end, and I mean flood, I mean just dump, full pull on the trigger, nice and close, and we dump down on here. I can report to you now that it is perfect. It's slightly glossier because obviously it's still probably wet in here, which it is actually. If you feel it's still a little bit tacky, and that's been a couple of hours now, but the rest of it's completely dry, completely handleable, and everything else like that. And I can do it with you right here, if I can find some. It is a little bit of Tamiya tape. My kingdom for some Tamiya tape. I have rolls of it on the go today. You just grab it, they're all over here on the other desk. So, usual thing, we're just going to give these a bit of a go. No problem with this at all. It's as hard as nails. This isn't actually totally dry on here yet. As I say, it was only a couple of hours ago we did it, but we can't even get this to tear off or anything else. I'm not going to go down the back there, but yeah, we know this stuff. We know it works. It's going to be absolutely fine. We can't get this to tear at all. So, no problem with that. So you're going to have no problem with masking this thing, going over it or anything else. Sand a little bit of tea. I can do a quick update on this one as well. Let's just try and sand it. Where should we go? Around the nose? Okay. Around the nose. and we're getting dust off. So it's not rolling up, so don't think this is like, you know, a new stuff and it's everything else. It's the standard Vallejo type stuff, very easy to use. This is straight input down, no messing around. It wasn't put thinners with it or anything else. It was neat from the bottle with all the tests we did through it. As I say, go and watch this video. I waffle on a little bit about paint to start with for the first 10 minutes, get a bit carried away. After that, you can skip all that if you want. You can get through to the actual using the paint and all the bits and pieces that go with it. But I have to say, I'm more inclined to pull back now to the actual Vallejo. Okay, I still don't like the lids. I prefer them to be this type of lid where you've got best of both worlds, small little spout for squirting on, or you can unscrew it to do tip back, you know, to actually, you know, replacing it back in the bottle for what you haven't used. I know a lot of people go, cross-contamination, never bothers me, just chuck it back in and away we go. But there we go, so that is today's on test video and all the rest of it in one. Great stuff. To be honest, you could skip that and just come out and buy it. It does work really, really well. We used numerous colours throughout this entire test on this one. Some of the colours you've still got in your range, no doubt. There is a couple of crossovers, but most of these ones in here are replacements. Now, for years, I think it was 047 and 050 I used to use for light and dark ghost greys. You know, certainly in here now you've got apparently the proper colour, but I don't know how far it is going to be off of those, because to me, at my eye, they were really close, shall we say. But now, I don't know, I'll probably switch to these. It would be great if I could build a model now and use this totally, but as I say, giving Buster a workout, and to be honest, Buster used to be this colour. Also, quick tip, if you want to see what Buster looked like before unfortunately he ended up in this job, you can see him looking in his heyday, because there's a couple of photos I put up of what he did look like during the actual review of these when we were talking about it, because he did look very much like this before he got carried away and used for this. So there we go, that's it for today. Go off, have a look at the review. If you are new to airbrushing, get this stuff, it's absolutely fantastic. It's easy cleanup, easy use, right the way through. It's very, very straightforward. It's not a demanding paint like some of the other ones coming along these days. This is straightforward, squirt it in your, you know, thing. You can spray it from anything, I reckon, from 12 psi to 25 psi. Doesn't matter where you are in between. I tried it both ways, low air pressure, high air pressure. As you know, I spray high air pressure and it worked an absolute treat. So there we go, that's it for today. These are great paints. Just have a look at the review and then go out and get some. So until tomorrow, everybody, happy modelling. Take care.